Dear students, I, Mr. Vishal Shah, Assistant Professor, Krishna Institute of Pharmacy, Karar, once again welcome you all to this my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about the last part about the atomic absorption spectroscopy. In previous video we have started with the in detail instrumentation of atomic absorption spectroscopy. In this video we are going to cover the rest of the part of the atomic absorption spectroscopy. Also in previous video we have discussed in detail about the hollow cathode lamp that is used as a radiation source in the instrument of atomic absorption spectroscopy. In this video we are going to discuss the next part of the atomic absorption spectroscopy. So let's begin with the today's session. Before that, just we will see what are the learning outcomes of this session. After this session, students will be able to explain the instrumentation of atomic absorption spectroscopy. Now, second type of the radiation source that is used in atomic absorption spectroscopy is electrode-less discharge lamp. As I said, in case of hollow cathode lamp, we have to use the different constructing material which is to be analyzed. So it is very difficult to carry out the construction of the wide variety of these types of the hollow cathode lamp. In that case, this electrode-less discharge lamp is useful. It is very difficult to make stable hollow cathodes from certain elements, particularly those that are volatile such as arsenic, germanium or the selenium. An alternative light source has to be developed in the discharge lamp, which is known as the electrode-less discharge lamp. It consisting of evacuated tube in which metal of interest is placed. Metal of interest means what? The element or the metal that is to be determined is placed in that particular evacuated tube. The tube is filled with argon at low pressure and it will be sealed off. The sealed tube is then placed in a microwave discharge cavity, and under these conditions argon becomes a plasma and it causes the excitation of the metal that is sealed in the tube. In this way, this particular electrode-less discharge lamp will work. In this case, what we are going to do, we are going to place choice of metal that will be placed in a tube. This tube will be filled with the argon gas at low pressure, and then the sealed tube is placed in the microwave discharge cavity. Due to the placing in the microwave discharge cavity, argon becomes a plasma and it causes the excitation of metals that are sealed in the tube. And emission from the metal is that of its spectrum, including the resonance line. So in this way, this particular electrode-less discharge lamp will work, and the intensity of these lamps is very high and they have been made quite stable in recent years. Means these are the alternatives to the hollow cathode lamp, but still hollow cathode lamp is the best choice for the radiation source in atomic absorption spectroscopy. Nowadays electrode-less discharge lamps are also used. So here we have completed with the radiation sources that are used in the atomic absorption spectroscopy. Second component that is used in the atomic absorption spectrophotometer is chopper. If you remember, in the construction part also we have seen that chopper is placed on the surface of that particular burner. Chopper is nothing but the rotating wheel that is interposed between the hollow cathode lamp and the flame. This rotating wheel is known as chopper, and it is interposed to break the steady light that is coming from the lamp into the intermittent or pulsating light. Means the roll of chopper, it will break because the radiation source is continuously emitting the light, and that will be broken down with the help of the chopper into the intermittent or the pulsating light. This gives a pulsating current in the photocell. There is also steady current caused by the light which is emitted by the flame. Means due to the pulsating current or the pulsating light, that pulsating light will fall on the photocell which is used as a detector, and that's why the pulsating current will be obtained in the photocell. And this will also give us a steady current which is caused by the light which is emitted by the flame. So this is the role of the chopper, but only pulsating or alternating current is amplified and recorded, and thus absorption of light will be measured without interference from the light that is emitted by flame itself. So this is the role of the chopper. After this, next important component of the atomic absorption spectrophotometer is atomizers. In order to achieve the absorption of the atoms, it becomes necessary to reduce the sample to the atomic state, and this will be done by the using atomizers. There are two different types of the atomizers are used. One is the flame atomizers and second one is the non-flame atomizers. In this case, just we are going to discuss about the flame atomizers because they are the most widely used atomizers in the atomic absorption spectroscopy. Few of the flame atomizers already we have seen, we have discussed in flame spectroscopy. Same atomizers are used in this particular atomic absorption spectroscopy also. Now, role of atomizers is conversion of solution of sample into its atomic level. Means first they will be converted, or the solution will be broken down into the small droplets. These droplets further converted into the atoms, and these atoms will be vaporized in the flame. The most common way is to use flame, which is used for converting the liquid sample into the first gaseous state, and also for the conversion of molecular entities into the atomic vapor. There are two types of the burners, that is the flame atomizers. There are two types of the flame atomizers that are used commonly, the total consumption burner and the premixed burner. First, we will discuss about the total consumption burner that is used in the atomic absorption spectroscopy. This is quite same as that is used in the flame emission spectroscopy. In this total consumption burner, fuel and oxidant are hydrogen and oxygen gas. This is the typical diagram which shows here that here you can see there is a separate inlet is there for introduction of our sample, separate inlet is there for the introduction of oxidant as well as fuel. So all these three will be directly introduced into the flame, where mixing of these three components will be carried out in the flame itself. Now the sample solution is aspirated through a capillary by high pressure of fuel and oxidant, and it is burned at the tip of the burner. As soon as the liquid sample is drawn into the base of the flame, the oxygen aspirates the sample solution, leaving the solid residue, and atomization and excitation of the sample then follow. Entire sample is consumed regardless of the droplet size. So this is the advantage of the total consumption burner. As total sample is consumed by this burner, that's why also these burners are known as the total consumption burner. The flame produced by total consumption burner is noisy and turbulent, but can be adjusted to produce the high temperatures by proper control of fuel to oxidant ratio. So this is about the total consumption burner. Then next type of the burner that is used in atomic absorption spectroscopy is premixed burners. In this energy type of the burner, aspirated sample, fuel and oxidants are mixed earlier before reaching to the burner. In this burner, the gases move in non-turbulent fashion, that is laminar flow is obtained. Here you can see typical diagram of the premixed burner, where first sample is introduced or aspirated into this particular chamber, where the oxidant and fuel is also aspirated. With the help of these choppers, it will be mixed, and once these components are mixed, they will be introduced to the flame. So that's why these burners are known as the premixed burners. An important feature of laminar flow burner is that only small portion of the sample in the form of the small droplets reaches the flame and is easily decomposed. By the easy decomposition, it means that the efficient atomization of the sample in the flame will take place. Larger droplets from the aspirator, they impinge on the side of the spray chamber and they will be drained off. Thus, in this type of the burner, 95% of the dye sample may be wasted, thereby loss of sensitivity is observed. However, this loss must be balanced against the loss of the larger droplets. The flame that is produced by premix burner is non-turbulent, noiseless and stable. So this is the advantage of premixed burners. Another advantage is that in this burner, easy decomposition of the sample takes place, which results in an efficient atomization in the sample. The next component that is used in the atomic absorption spectroscopy is monochromators. There are various types of the monochromators that are used, either prisms or the gratings. Generally, quartz material is used for making prisms, as quartz is transparent over entire region. Gratings are also second type of the monochromators that are used. It employs grating, which is essentially a series of parallel straight lines cut into the plane surface. The role of monochromator is that they will carry out the selection of the interested wavelength and rest of the wavelength will be bypassed. The next important component of or the last component of this particular atomic absorption spectrophotometer is detectors. Generally, three different types of the detectors that are used: photomultiplier tubes, photoemissive cells and photovoltaic cell. So these are the three commonly used detectors that are present in the atomic absorption spectroscopy. We will discuss photovoltaic cell over here. Already we have discussed this also in the UV visible spectroscopy. Same type of the detector that is used in the atomic absorption spectroscopy also. Now photovoltaic cells, they are having thin metallic layer that is coated with the silver or gold, which acts as an electrode, and also has metal base plate which acts as another electrode, which is made up of the iron. Two layers are separated by semiconductor layer of selenium. When light of radiation falls on the selenium layer, this creates potential difference between the two electrodes and cause the flow of the current. Here we have completed the instrumentation of atomic absorption spectroscopy. Now next point is applications of atomic absorption spectroscopy. Atomic absorption spectroscopy is one of the most widely used technique for the determination of metals at the trace levels in the solution. Its popularity as compared with that of the flame emission is due to its relative freedom from the interferences by inter-element effects and its relative insensitivity to various in flame temperature. So this is the advantage, because the analysis does not depend upon the flame temperature, as it depends in case of the flame photometry only for the routine determination of alkali and alkaline earth metal. Flame photometry usually preferred, but if we want to carry out the determination of other elements, then atomic absorption spectroscopy is the best choice. Over 60 elements can be determined in almost in any matrix by atomic absorption. For example, heavy metals that are present in the body fluids, then if they are present in the polluted waters, different foodstuffs, soft drinks and beer, and analysis of metallurgical as well as the geochemical samples, and determination of many metals in soils, crude oils, petroleum products and plastics. This can be done by using atomic absorption spectroscopy. So these are the various applications of atomic absorption spectroscopy. So here we have finished with the atomic absorption spectroscopy. If you like the content of this channel, you can share